Assalamu alaikum. How are you guys? Okay, tell me how much have we done? All right, all right. So, don't you guys have the slides that we are going to discuss, and we have done it right? So, I think okay. Do you know how to link these tables? The key field. So we have to start from key fields, right? What do you think a key field is? Denoted or represent in the database. Share your thoughts. So we will move on. Okay, we have to move on. Primary key. Basically, keys are of three types. Primary key, okay, secondary key, foreign key. Secondary key, you can also use it, you can say a combination key. Combination, you can say that secondary key is known as a combination of primary and foreign. Both keys, if combined together to make another distinguished field, then it will be, you can say, secondary key. And secondary key can also be a primary key for some table. Okay. The primary key field in a table is a unique identifier for the records in the table. It's mean every record has a unique identifier, just like your visa number, just like your identity number in the KFC, right? Every table must have a primary key, means every family in KSA must have some identity. The primary key can contain no duplicates. The number that your family holds in the KSA is will not be allotted to anyone else in the future. Okay, so it will be, you can say, an identifier for your family. A foreign key. A foreign key is a field in a table that uniquely identifies a record in a different table. Means in a different table, when you want to identify some record, then you can identify it with the help of foreign key. Primary key can also act as a foreign, okay? But here is the problem, and that is, if primary key act as a foreign key, then that table primary key will, you can say, contradict with the primary key, contradict with the foreign key. Not every table requires a foreign key. The foreign key field in a table is usually the primary key field in the related table. Primary key, as I told you earlier, primary key can also use as a foreign key. So here it is mentioned. If you have any query regarding the key, means primary key, foreign key, or a composite key, means secondary key, combination of two keys, okay? If you have any query, then you can ask, okay? Questions, flat files versus linked tables and keys. Answer the questions in the full sentences. Describe the difference between flat files database structure and linked table database structure. Can you describe the difference? Okay. What is data duplication? Explain how it is inefficient. Can you tell us? Okay, read out these 8 points and check if you have any query regarding any problem or any question, then you can ask in the chat section or directly ask in the class. I recommend you to directly ask in the class. All right, any issue? What is modification error? Okay, question number 3. Okay, any other? All right, actually, when you try to modify the tables by its name or by the data types, just like this, for example, if we will now check how this modification error can happen. Okay, what are these modification error? php this is my local machine cloud, you can say that. Go on. Okay, here are my some databases, and here I want to Okay, here's the table name as Ayas, or we can check Virkan Associates, WP links, structure. Okay, check this out. If I want to modify the name of WP link, okay, WP link, if some error occurs regarding the modification of name from old name to new one, then it is also known as modification error. Let me give you another example. Amazon, options. Let us check. Okay, here we have Amazon value. Let's say this blog name Amazon. Okay, this one, this one. This is the record. Okay, in the table WP option in the database Amazon, and if we want to modify this record, okay, here we have option name blog name, option value Amazon, and auto load. It says yes, but if I make it no and press over the go button, and it says if the database says some error and they corrupt the whole entire database while in the structure, then you can say that it is modification error. Okay. Okay, let us check if it is possible to create a automated database in a modification error. Let us check. This is not Amazon, this is eBay. If it is successful, okay, it is successful. Okay, now check. It does not show any error because it is automated databases handled by PHP method. Okay. Okay. Let us go further. Stop and stop. Let us run. Okay. Any other query of you guys? Okay. It's okay. So we have to move on. Design. Tables and ER diagrams. How many of you know about ER diagrams? Okay, one Nisma. Any other?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you
It
want,
shows the relationship between datas.
okay. Okay, take the following steps to split up tables with data duplication. If you have some tables that holds that data that is duplicated in that table, then how you can split it up? Then how can you purify your data? Identify the columns with duplicated data. Now, the first step is identify the column with duplicated data. Usually the name column is the duplicated one, okay? Because the same man can do many shoppings in the shopping mart or any other system, and split it into two tables, one for the duplicated items, one for other. Says split into two tables, one for duplicated columns means items, one for others. Okay, now our this M1, I think so, this column is stacked. Department name, extension number. Here we have extension number. Okay, manager name. These are the manager names. Okay, manager grade, floor, number of staff, next staff training day sales target achieved. Now you have to do with products. Products ID, product name, cost, number in stock, and department. Here department is the foreign key. Can you figure it out? Department has asterisk with its name. Okay. Now your department table is splitting up into more than one table, and then it will be linked with product. Okay, so that the data duplication will get avoided. Identify primary keys. Department name, you can also make it as a primary key, but I recommend you to make a DID, means department ID, and with that ID you can also make it as a foreign key in the next table. Okay, so that it will be easier for you. Identify primary keys. Now you identify the primary keys of department and product. Add primary key from one table with the duplicated columns, means the table which has duplicated items or the records. Its primary key will be set as foreign key in the next table that you want to link with it. Okay, here department table has duplication data, so the department name act as a foreign key in the table that department want to connect itself. Okay, identify columns with duplicated. Now you have to identify the columns with duplicated data. Usually the name one will be duplicated, and also the product name. Okay, the product name and the prices can be duplicated. Okay, the department name, extension number, manager grade, these are all selected. Make sure that the same duplicates always occur in the same rows, means the duplicated data will be occur in the same row. Where department name food store is duplicated, it is always duplicated with the 4571 as extension number and Wendy falls as a manager. Means if food store is getting duplicated, then its number will be 4571, means extension number will be 4571, and its owner or the manager name will must be Wendy Falls as a manager. Okay, if food store is duplicated in the table, then you must have to make sure that the extension number will be 4571. Means if Muhammad Ayas ID is getting duplicated within the table, then his name will also getting duplicated in that table with his family name. Okay, if his identity number is getting duplicated in the table and the name belongs to that ID is not getting duplicated, then there will must be an, you can say, a error that will make it corrupt. Okay, or your links are getting corrupted. Okay, this could be called as first degree normalization as well. Am I right? Right. You can also, basically we are doing an advanced level. We can do sixth level of normalization. Okay, but I think in the study level, or you can say at your level or BS level, third normal form will be okay, or if it is not possible, then up to four normal form it is fine. We can do advanced level database programming where Amazon like structures being developed. Then we have to do according to that system sensitivity or the nature of sensitivity, we have to develop our database. Then we have to do sixth level of normalization. Okay, so you have no idea about existing fifth and sixth. Yes, it is possible. Just like you are doing normalization up to third normal form, it is possible you can take it up to as a sixth degree. Okay, and I think you guys have idea of normalization. Is it true? Tell me, all of you. No. Basically, this is here we are doing normalization. We are identifying the data table with the duplicated data. Okay, having the duplicated data, then we are identifying the columns, and then as we have done it here, we are separating them, means we are splitting that table into two tables, and the column that is going to replicate its data is set as a, you can say, primary table, and other table will be secondary table. But primary table and secondary table have the same value because they are connected with each other at the same level, means zero level. Then we have to do normalization of these tables, and it will be first normal form. We will put the primary key of first table into second one, means the duplicated data table, we have primary key, and that primary key will act as a foreign key in the secondary table. Okay, so this is how we are doing normalization. Splitting into tables. You will need to split the flat file table into two. This is a flat file. You can say it as a Excel type sheet. Do you know about the Excel type sheet, in which we just specify the columns and put some data in that tables, and one table should be contain the fields with duplicated values, means the table must have some duplicated value, that we are going to split it. All other fields should be added to other tables, mean you can add it in the columns into other tables that are not having duplicated data. Okay, give the two new tables a meaningful name based on their content, means data table number one, data table number two. You can give any meaningful name according to yourself. Okay, now you can check here, the department name will act as a foreign key in the second one, which has no duplication of data. Okay, identify primary keys. How you can identify your primary keys? You will need to identify a suitable primary key.
Sure.
The primary key field should not contain duplicates value, means your primary key, just like department ID, okay, should not contain any duplication of data, should not contain any duplicate value. So I recommend you to give a suitable name with every table, just like department name, but I recommend you to give the primary key as a department ID. Okay, the ID will not replicate itself. Fields that are an ID number are usually used as primary key fields, I have mentioned. Okay, mark the primary key. Now you have to mark the primary key. Here we have department name underline. By underlining it or writing the letters P, K next to it. If you can write the department name and space then PK, then it means you are writing it as a primary key. Although we split this table based on duplicate value. Okay, remember, we split the table based on duplicate values. The duplicate rows will be removed. Due to this factor, due to normalization, the duplication of data will get eliminated. This will allow us to select a primary key field for the table that contain duplicate value. The table that having the duplicate data, we pick primary key from that table and insert it as a foreign key in the next table that we want to join with. Add a foreign key. Now we are going to add foreign key. The final step is to link the tables, and now we are going to link it. The primary key from the table that contain duplication of their data should be added to the other table. Okay, department has duplication of data, it should be added in the next table and refer it as a fk, or you can use it as the static, as if fk means it's a foreign key. These tables should now be used to create an entity relationship diagram. Okay, now do you know about how to link these tables in you can say MS Access? Do you know? Okay, it is same. Basically, these tables are from MS Access. Okay, you can also do same with the live database. Just you have to put this one, this department. Here we have put department as a foreign key. You have to put department foreign key in the next table. And if you are doing in the hybrid, or you can say in the MySQL, you have to create your table entries, means table fields. You in MySQL, when you are developing your table name with your fields, then you have to develop another field with this for the second table and refer it as a F key. Okay, then in the structure, now check here, this is very close, and I think you understand it, how these tables are interconnected with each other. Are you getting anything point or any issues? Okay, check here in the shipping zone and the shipping zone method, we have the same zone ID, but here you can check that it is act as a primary key, but here it's act as a foreign key. Okay, this is how your database tables are connected. Now this is one-to-one. This is one-to-one relationship because one zone ID hold one record for each shipping zone. Okay. Alternate approach. Alternate approach means non-atomic data. Another way to split your database table is to look for non-atomic data, which is not separate. Atomic means separate. Okay. Stand-alone data. A partial record for one department could be presented as follows. Department name is good, manager is good, manager grade is good, extension name is good, but it has something missing in the record fields. It shows this record holder means when defaults have partial record in this database. Any field that include multiple values such as product name should be split into another table. Primary key and foreign key will fetch the all record based on the structure of tables. Okay, primary keys and foreign key can be added as described above. Primary key and foreign key will be set as before, but these primary key and foreign key will fetch the all record as per design of table within the database. Okay. Entity relationship diagrams. Entity relationship diagrams shows the tables that make up a database and relationship between them. The tables that hold some data is connected with some another table, just like the example that we have discussed in the SQL database before. It is connected with shipping zone is connected with shipping method, okay, in the database. So this will produce a massive ERD. Okay, this they can also show the individual attributes. They are showing their attributes, that zone ID, zone name, and many others. Okay, they show the individual attributes or the field in each table. They are showing basically the fields in their tables. Okay, ERD are one of the two design document, is one of the two design document. Basically it represents the design of database that you require. ERD is one of the two design documents that you require to design a database. For example, if you are having the ER diagram of a database, then you can develop the whole database related with that design. Okay. One to many relationship. There are three types of relationship. One to one relationship, and data duplication in the one to one is very difficult and in very rare case. One to many relationship data duplication may occur, but it is not necessary that it cannot occur or reoccur. Okay, and in many to many relationship, you can say that the occurrence of multiplication of duplicate data is very common, and it is very easy to duplicate the data in many to many relationships. Okay, any issue regarding any topic or any concept, you can ask in the chat section, or it is all clear. Tell me. Okay, okay, go on. It's okay. ER diagrams must show the type of relationship between the tables. Okay. At national level 5, you will only use one to many relationship because it is very popular relationship and it can be developed as soon as possible. In a one to many relationship, a row in one table can have multiple records in the other table. It means a manager can hold the record of purchase, and that purchase is the separate table, and a manager can hold the multiple record related to that purchase. Okay. Similarly, a client can purchase multiple data, means multiple things, multiple eatables, multiple any other grocery from the shopping mart, and that can be recorded into database. This database is referred with the relationship as one to many relationships. Okay. However, each row in the other table can hold only match to one row of the first table. Means in the backward, you can say that multiple hold can hold only one match. Means the owner will be only one. In our relationship diagrams, a one-to-many relationship will be denoted with line with the crow foot. Okay, means line with the crow foot at the many end of relationships. Here departments have multiple products, so the crow foot will be on the product side. Okay, departments has a one to many relationship with products. A department stocks many products. A product is only stocked in only one department. Here are the questions that you have to describe as your assignment. Okay, this is your assignment. Okay, now we have to discuss fields and data types. A field is a single element of information about one thing. You can set your field according to your requirement. If you want to set the field with the name of manager, then you can also do that. If you want to set the field of products or the number of products, then you can also do that. But if it is the number of products, then you have to specify how many number of products your database can hold. Okay, in this field, the data type of a field describe what sort of information that it will store, whether it is integer, whether it is character, whether it is a string, whether it is a double, whether it is a date, whether it is a text, or whatever you want. Database data types can include text, number, date, time, but it will show you a number of records on that drop-down menu. Different database will describe these type differently. Okay, so you have to take care about the data types. Data types: text, text, text field stored only letters, characters, symbol, ASCII or Unicode is used for storing text. Unicode is basically you can say a computer generated code that is only understand by machine or computer itself. Numbers. Number field store only integer or the numeric values by using its binary. Date. Date can also be stored as a you can as an attribute or data type. Multiple numbers are stored in binary to represent the component part of a date, year, month, and day. Time. You can also record the time. You can also record the time with the same format in the MySQL. Okay. When you are going to use MySQL, you have to log into your database. Just like, for example, if I check Ava beds, okay, and if I check database of Ava beds, then I want to change users. Here we have users, and I want to change the data type of ID. For example, here we have value 1, here we have type, so we cannot change it. But we can also change its function. For example, minute, is it a month, it is a number, it is a password, is it some another thing, it is a ASCII value, it is encryption, it is decryption. Okay, it is a character length, it defines some character length, it is a compression function. Okay, it is a hexadecimal value. Here we have hexa. Okay, so we can also do in the MySQL. Time. Okay, we have to check whether we are having the time or not. Can we record time? Okay, let us check text rates. No, we want some user meta. Here you can check that. What? Okay, let us check this one. And structure. Here we can add some column and its values. Okay, is user ID meta key at the beginning of table, how many we want to add columns. We want to add 2 columns, or we want to add. Okay, go on. What is the name we want to record? Some time. Okay, type will be time. We can specify the length if we want to take it as a 65. Default, you can select current timestamp. Basically here we can select current timestamp. Now we are having 9:16. If the record is developed at current time, then it will use it as a current timestamp. Okay, for example, if I insert some record at 9:17 p.m. of 7th of August 2022, then it will record it as it is. Okay, what is the collation? It can remain empty. What will be the attribute? It will be a binary or an update current timestamp. Then it is totally up to you. And if it is null, no, I don't want it null. You want to make it index, primary key, unique key, or a full text. It will give you an index name, time, and what will be its size. It is done. Cancel. Text. Special. Okay, leave it empty. It is auto incremented. No, I don't want it. Auto. Comment about the field is this is used as a time stamp field. Okay, and check whether you are going to save it or not. The actual error is you have to identify its collation and index. I don't remember what will be the collation of. The collation will be the database type. Okay, whenever you are going to make a database, here you can see that the database collation will be, what will be the collation? Okay, it is UTF-8 MB4 general CI, so you have to remember it. Okay, data types. Boolean is used as a true and false, describing true and false of some statements, or you can say queries of that SQL statements. If your query returns 0, it will be true. Okay, whenever query will not give any error, then you can say that your query is fine, but at the back end the query is checked with respect to its boolean value. Okay, if the boolean value is 0, then your query will be executed successfully. Other types not covered in National 5: calculated, graphic, hyperlink, and currency. You can also use these types, but do not use graphic. Okay, do not use graphic, because sometimes when you are dealing with the database, and if the data type is graphic, then it can corrupt the whole table, and whole table will also corrupt the whole database. Okay, field properties. When defining the fields of database, there are additional properties that you have to be considered in addition with that field type. The size of field. You can, here in the previous visual, I recommend you to specify the size of field, and I also display you the size and how you can control the timestamp. You can control the input of any field by putting actual size that you want to take from the user. The size of field defines how much storage will go. Okay, it says that the size of field defines how much storage space is allocated for each field, each instance of field. It means if you are having the storage of instance at 24 spaces, then you cannot specify 25 or more than 24. Okay. For the number type fields, the size will be number of bytes and used to store the number. For example, if you know the input size will be 2, then use the number of byte 2 will be 4. Okay, the 2 number will be 4. This directly affects the range of number available and accuracy to which they are stored. For example, if you want to store the number 2, then its size will also be accurate with respect to 2. But if you want to make it increase, then its size will not be accurate according to the data type and according to its size. A field can include validation rule. Basically, validation rule is developed for the input of correct data at the real time. Validation rule will help you to validate the data whether it is the valid data for the field instance or not. A validation rule limits the values that can be entered in a field or in a database. If the value does not meet the criteria for enter, then it will not be stored in the database. Data dictionaries. A data dictionary is used to indicate the properties of all attributes. For example, the number attribute will only use integer type data for its entrance or for its storage. Okay, field in an entity or a table. Data dictionary will usually include the name of field or attribute. Here we have field name, product ID, product name, cost, number in stock, or department. Its data type. Product ID data type will be auto number and integer. Auto number means it will be incremented whenever a new record will come. Whether or not it is primary or a foreign key, you can select whatever the type or whatever the primary key of your table and the size. You can also select how much size of your instance will take. If the field is required, then it must be entered, and without that your database will not get completely operational. If it must be entered when creating a record, sometimes it will be included as a validation rule instead. Means if you do not put some data in the required field, then your data entrance will be failed. Any validation rule. If you put the data validation rule over the product name only, and if it is validation rule is correct, then if at the user end, if someone don't enter the product name and want to save the data, then the validation rule will not make it possible to save that data, because the data validation rule says please enter product name, because it is mandatory to enter your product name that you purchase from our store. Okay. If you have any query regarding this lecture or any slide, then you can directly ask.